y'all? Welcome back to the channel. This is UCM Pigs. I do some motovlogs and some other stuff. And if you're a subscriber, I appreciate you coming back, spending a little time with me. And if you're not a subscriber, why don't you think about it? Watch this video and see what you think. Maybe watch some other ones. But either way, whether you're a subscriber or not, if you're here, why don't you go ahead and hit that thumbs up, give me a like, leave me a comment, leave me an emoji, let me know you were here. But I appreciate you spending some time with me, and if you didn't tell from the thumbnail and the tag and the description, I got some new bars. I think I got a little bit of a different camera angle here, maybe a little different stance, and we'll take a look at these bars. So I'm pretty excited about this. As you can see, I've got some new handlebars here on the Noella May, and got all my crap on them so you really can't see them, but I'll get some better footage of them here in just a few minutes. That way you get a good idea of how these things look. But I upgraded to some 10-inch, they're called Meat Hook Monkey. I don't really want to call them ape hangers. I mean, I guess they are ape hangers. It's only a 10-inch rise, but it's exactly what I wanted. I ordered these bars from a company out of California by the name of Dominator Industries. I'll put a link in the description, or a little picture of their logo in here. But they're a pretty small company. They do have an online presence. They have a website. I think they're on social media. But the reason why I selected these bars is mainly I like this meat hook look. It's the style, it's the look I was looking for. I only wanted a 10-inch rise. I have some shoulder issues, and I've ridden, I had a bike with some 16-inch apes on it, and then my stop bars were a little too low, and I really wanted my arms just kind of straight out in front of me. And by no means am I a tall man, I'm only 5'9", so the 10-inch rise is actually perfect for me. But anyway, the big thing that brought me to these bars, if you're thinking about bars, go over to Dominator, check out what they've got, is that they are pre-wired. And what does that mean? There are several wires. If you're familiar with wiring handlebars, especially on a bagger, you have all the wires for these thumb switch controls, plus your throttle by wire over here on your throttle side, and then heated grips if you have those, so forth, so on. So when you have this type of angle, a greater than 90-degree angle, getting all those wires through is pretty tough. It was worth it to me to spend the extra money and get them pre-wired. So I ordered their pre-wired bars. The only thing that I didn't have was the throttle by wire. I had to pull that out of my stock bars. But I'll put maybe some video in here. I didn't do a play-by-play install, but I took some video along the way. So I'll show you some of the progress I made. Now, one thing about when I do installs, it's kind of like some guys with motovlogging. There's a lot of content creators out there that do a lot of install type stuff, but they don't do a lot of motovlogging. And really they say, well, my rides are for me. And I get that. Dude, I totally get it. It's therapy. You ride your ride. I'm that way with installs. When I'm working on my bike, the last thing I want to be doing is monkeying around with a camera. I want to focus on what I'm doing. So I gave it, the old college try. I finally got to a point where I was using so much silicone spray to snake these wires. I had silicone spray all over my hands, all over me. I wasn't trying to be messing around with a camera, so I kind of gave up on that. But I did get a little bit. I'm going to show you guys some high points. So, if I can remember correctly from my video files, these are the bars. This was the look I was looking for. I was looking for the meat. They call it a meat hook at the top. And found a couple companies and decided to go with Dominator after doing some research. And the big thing that I was interested in was, you notice these bars are pre-wired. So you can see the wires for the switch controls are already all ran through the bar. And if you're not familiar with wiring bars, that's a task, especially when you have such a sharp angle here and you start trying to run 10, 12 wires through this bar. Now, the only thing it didn't come pre-wired with was the throttle control. So I'm going to have to pull the throttle control out of my stock bars. They gave me a guide wire. So a guide wire is already ran right there and right there. Now, one thing I want to show you is this is the throttle by wire harness. Taking it out of I took it out of the stock bars, and what we're going to do is we are going to cut into this harness. Now, this kit came with some really cool stuff, and one thing I liked about this kit I got from Dominator. They sent me some new shrink wrap because we're going to re-shrink wrap this harness, tighten it up, make it a little more rigid. Believe it or not, you do want it a little more rigid, but not as sloppy. The stock one's kind of sloppy. A couple tools they sent me this cool little tool. It is for removing your wiring plugs. You got to pull the pins out, which again, mine has the heated grip plug on it. Even though I do not have heated grips, it doesn't plug in anywhere in the dash. So I removed that plug, left the wires, that way if I ever want to add heated grips in the future, I can. And then it also gives you this really cool seamstress tool. This is a stitch removal tool. Now, why is this important? This tool is important when you're cutting the old shrink wrap off of wiring harnesses. You know, if you use a razor knife, you got to be very careful that you don't cut into the wires. So this little tool, you know, had a little safety ball on it. You could slip it right in there and reduce the risk of slicing those wires. Anything is possible, but it does make it a lot easier. Well, I'm the kind of guy, I try to make it as easy as possible, and I don't want to rush. I actually did this install over the whole weekend. It could have been done in a day, but I didn't want to rush it. So I removed pretty much everything that I need to get to where I'm working. So I removed the outer fairing. I tilted the inner fairing forward. I completely removed the tank and the seat. That way I can access any wires, any cables. I used my existing clutch and brake cable because it is only a 10-inch rise, but I did have to clip some zip ties and reroute those cables inside the fairing. So I'm glad I had that all undone. It made it a lot easier. And then it made it a lot easier when it came time to adjust the bars. This is the part of the video where we're going to take some really cool footage of my bars, some fancy stuff with some music. You guys be careful. You guys be safe. Always keep your shiny side up, and we'll talk to you later.